I want to wrap this portion of our section with our last panelist, someone that I have admired for nearly 15 years when he started his blog called Angry Asian Man. He is Phil Yu.
Thanks so much for inviting me to be part of this awesome event. Before I start, I want to address something that's been said a couple of times here. It's like, oh, like people vying to be sort of the least Asian person on this panel. I have to say, like, I don't think there's no such thing as being Asian enough for this community. I think that our community is it's too diverse, too broad. It spans so many different cultures, generations, languages, heritages and histories for anyone to play gatekeeper, to say like, you're not Asian enough, you're Asian, you're only a little bit Asian. It's like, no. This community it encompasses a lot of different people, and it's all the more better for it. So I just wanted to say that before we try to draw lines about like who is Asian enough. Okay, so my name's Phil Yu. I wrote a blog called Angry Asian Man, which I guess that makes me the Angry Asian Man. Let me just say this. Just out of curiosity, how many people here have heard or seen or read Angry Asian Man? Know it before? Okay. Oh, okay. That's a good amount of people. Thank you. I do a lot of public speaking, and sometimes I ask that question. It's just like three guys in the front. They're like, "We read it every day," and it's like, thank you. But no, thank you so much for the readership out there. For those who are not familiar, this is like the first time you're seeing this Angry Asian Man thing. Like, what is that? Angry Asian Man is a news and culture opinion blog covering the Asian American community, everything from politics, pop culture, current events, crime, weird, random internet stuff. I've been running it since 2001, which is like, so in February of next year, I'll be doing this for 15 years, which is crazy. We don't remember what happened last week on the internet, let alone a dozen plus years ago. So it's a little bit crazy. I keep thinking I did the math wrong in terms of like how long I've been doing this. But I want to go a little bit quickly into what I do here. So if you log on to angryasianman.com right now, this is what you're going to see. Does anybody here know what this is, this figure? Any idea? Quick Kick, yes. So for those who don't know, who are maybe a little younger than me, Quick Kick, this is Quick Kick. He is a G.I. Joe figure, a cartoon, very popular cartoon, toy line when I was a kid. Quick Kick is the G.I. Joe martial arts expert. And as you can see, because he's a martial arts expert, he doesn't wear shoes, he doesn't wear socks, he doesn't wear a shirt. Very stereotypical of Asians, but that's the way they drew the character. I just remember watching the show when I was a kid and being like, that guy is, like, that seems very impractical for going out and fighting bad guys, you know what I'm saying? I remember one episode of G.I. Joe where they went to go fight Cobra in the Himalayas, and even then, he did not wear shoes, socks, shirt. I was like, put on a coat, Quick Kick. But I chose Quick Kick as sort of the unofficial mascot of Angry Asian Man because he kind of represents this weird collision of race and pop culture and how it plays out in interesting ways, and that's what I like to talk about on the blog. So I'm going to go real quick. Here's some of the here's just a rundown of a post from this past week. I'm not going to talk about that. I'll just read the headlines. Fund this: a mural for Yuri and Malcolm. If you want to learn more about that, just go to my blog right now and you can read about it. Not right now, but like when you know. Let's see. This show has the most Asians on TV right now. That's America's Best Dance Crew. Seattle City Council expresses regret for anti-Chinese laws. That sounds intriguing, doesn't it? Or as I like to say, sorry for that time a mob forced all the Chinese to get the hell out of town. Asians react to yellowface is a very funny video that I happen to be able to take part in for BuzzFeed. So log on to my site, check it out. These are all different topics, runs the gamut of a lot of different things pertaining to the community. Try to do it in a very entertaining and fun way, or at least interesting for people to share and get conversations started. I want to talk just real quick about how. Oh my God, a minute left. Okay, I want to talk a little about how the blog got started. As I said, I started in 2001. I was just out of college, and for me, and this is probably for a lot of people, college is a time where you explore your identity. What am I about? What do I want to be in this world, you know? And for me, that was very much about my Asian American identity, you know? And I sort of came to this place where I wanted my Asian American identity to be politicized, and I wanted to mean something out when I graduated and went out to the real world. I wanted Asian American to mean something, and I hope that in a place where we've gathered here in the name of, where Asian American is in the name of this organization, you know, we would want to examine, like, what does Asian American mean? Is it just because we all look together, we should get together and talk about these things? Like, no, Asian American it means something in this world. It's an arbitrary identity where we've put together so many different people into a group. It's almost unwieldy, and it doesn't seem like we should all be put together, but we are, and so we want to define and understand what that means, you know? And so I wanted that for my own identity, and I wanted to know what that meant. And so when I graduated, I kind of started this blog as just a place for me to write down the things that I was thinking about, just kind of a place to just spin out all these ideas and just put it out into the world. This internet thing was kind of taking off, so I was like, I'll use it to publish my ideas and just kind of put it out there. I didn't think that anybody, I honestly didn't think anybody was going to read it, maybe some friends, some random internet stumblers. But what I found was that people were starting to log in, read it. The traffic numbers steadily started to grow. I started hearing from people saying, like, oh, I read your blog. It's great. Thank you for doing what you do. And I'm like, who are these people? Who is reading this, you know? But as long as they kept on reading it, it emboldened me, and I just kept on doing it. And fast forward, almost 15, I'm on year 15 now, and I'm still doing this, and I found a purpose, and I found like this calling to really do this and keep it going, you know. And every day, it's a new challenge, it's a hustle, you know, it's become my career. It didn't start off as my career, but it became that very quickly. And I found like this really incredible way to connect with people and get people to get them to do what I tell them to do. No, just kidding. You know, it's a very empowering tool to put something out on the internet and for people to read it and be like, yo, that makes me angry. I'm going to do something about it, you know. So for the sake of time, I'm going to skip over a couple slides here. You might recognize it. Okay. I just want to wrap it up by saying this. A lot of people ask me, like, what is up with why did you call it Angry Asian Man? You know, for people who don't know, who know me or don't know me, maybe, I'm not a particularly angry person. You're probably looking at me like, I thought you'd be angrier. I'm honestly a little disappointed. And I'm not. I think I'm, you know, if I assess myself, I'm a pretty chill, reasonable, rational guy. But I called the blog Angry Asian Man because I wanted something that flew in the face of what people generally feel and perceive Asians to be in this country. Let's face it, Asians in this country are sort of considered the passive ones. We're the model minorities. We're supposed to sit down and just kind of keep our heads down and just not rock the boat, you know. Even in the face of something like injustice, where it's well within our right to stand up and speak out and do something, we're kind of expected not to do that and not rock the boat. And we're supposed to just kind of keep our heads down and go about our business. And I was like, that's bullshit. I really wanted something that addressed that and flew in the face of that. And so Angry Asian Man is confrontational. It flies in the face of that, you know. And I wanted that to be the conversation starter when people logged on the site and saw that. I think the contents of the site are pretty reasonable, actually, but the name itself is provocative. And so I wanted that to be what greeted you when you came to the site and said, like, oh, Angry Asian, like Angry Asian anything is an affront to people's general idea of what Asians are in this country, and I wanted people to react to that. So if I were to leave you with anything, it would just be to stay angry. So thanks.
Thank you, Phil.